Lebanon's Prime Minister meets Egypt's Prime Minister in Beirut to deepen strategic ties and coordinate on regional issues. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun praises Egypt's pivotal regional role and support for Lebanon. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati highlights strong growth in Egypt-Russian relations. Sudan's Sovereign Council Chairman Abdel Fattah al-Burhan has expressed deep gratitude to Egypt and President Fattah al-Sisi for their steadfast support of Sudan. In a post on X, he wrote, "Thank you, Egypt. Thank you, Your Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi." His remarks followed an official meeting in Cairo where both sides discussed strengthening bilateral cooperation and advancing mutual relations. President al-Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's full support for the Sudanese people as they work to overcome the current critical phase, underscoring Cairo's commitment to Sudan's stability and resilience. U.S. President Donald Trump says he has warm relations with Egypt's President Fattah al-Sisi and would be interested in hosting him, as he also signals possible talks with Israel's Prime Minister and renewed focus on Ukraine. Trump described President al-Sisi as a friend and said he would like to host him as soon as possible. Turning to Ukraine, Trump voiced optimism about progress towards ending the war, urging Ukrainian authorities to move quickly and urging there may be a near-term opportunity to resolve the conflict. Egypt's Minister of Health has dispatched a medical convoy to Sudan, carrying rare specialty teams alongside medicines and medical supplies, following political leadership directives and a coordination with the Foreign Ministry. The aid includes around 1.5 tons of medicine equipment and supplies to support Sudan's trained health sector. The Egyptian initiative reflects the deep historical ties between both countries and Egypt's leading role in Africa. That comes alongside the delivery of 200 filled oxygen cylinders to Sudan's northern state. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has received his Egyptian counterpart Mustafa Madbouli at the Grand Sirrail in Beirut, where they both discussed and expanded talks with senior delegations to deepen strategic partnership and coordinate positions on regional issues. Following full official reception ceremonies, the two counterparts held a closed meeting. Then broader discussions focused on technical cooperation, especially in energy and infrastructure. Madbouli's two-day visit, leading a high-level ministerial delegation, carries strong political and economic signals, underscoring the depth and resilience of Cairo-Beirut relations. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has stressed Lebanon's resilience on Egypt's pivotal political role in the Arab region and its support during this challenging period. Speaking at Babda Palace during a meeting with Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and his delegation, Aoun highlighted the importance of activating the Lebanese-Egyptian High Joint Committee to advance cooperation in energy, electricity, industry, transport and reconstruction of southern Lebanon. Madbouli reaffirmed Egypt's full backing of Lebanon's leadership, government and army, condemning Israeli aggression and emphasizing support for restoring stability, sovereignty and full institutional control across Lebanese territory in line with the UN Resolution 1701. The Lebanese president added that his country appreciates the commitment of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Lebanon's security, stability and progress. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has said he held in-depth talks with his Egyptian counterpart Mustafa Madbouli on strengthening political and economic cooperation. Speaking at a joint press conference in Beirut, Salam stressed that relations between Egypt and Lebanon are marked by shared paths and converging visions, reaffirming the commitment to deepening bilateral ties across all fields. The Lebanese Prime Minister also praised Egypt's support for Lebanon, especially its efforts to halt Israeli attacks and bring an end to the Israeli occupation. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said relations between Cairo and Beirut are founded on mutual respect and close cooperation, noting growing political engagement between both sides. At a joint press conference in Beirut, he stressed Egypt's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties across all sectors, backed by clear political will. Madbouli praised Lebanese leadership's efforts to restore stability, reaffirmed support for Lebanon's state authority and civil peace, highlighted Lebanon's role in regional stability and urged Israel to respect the ceasefire agreement. In his address to the Lebanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has acknowledged the significant challenges facing Lebanon. Madbouli highlighted Egypt's extensive expertise in infrastructure development and its pivotal regional role, noting that Egyptian companies are fully prepared to contribute to Lebanon's growth. The Egyptian Prime Minister emphasized cooperation in renewable energy and the reconstruction of southern Lebanon, especially in infrastructure, water, electricity, roads and communications, reaffirming Egypt's steadfast support for Lebanon's leadership, government and people in their recovery projects. Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri has received Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and his high-level delegation at the Second Presidential Palace in Ain el-Tanih. Berri praised Egypt's consistent support for Lebanon's across the various stages, highlighting Cairo's efforts in promoting security and stability in southern Lebanon. He reaffirmed Lebanon's commitment to the ceasefire agreement and called on Israel to fully implement its provisions, stressing the importance of continued cooperation to maintain peace and safeguard the region. The meeting was attended by the Egyptian ambassador to Lebanon and senior Lebanese officials. Discussions focused on current developments in Lebanon and the broader region, as well as strengthening bilateral relations between Lebanon and Egypt. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Ablati has emphasized the significant development of Cairo-Moscow relations across all levels during a joint press conference with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. He highlighted deep strategic cooperation between the two countries, including boosting trade, supporting regional security, stability and development. Abdulati stressed Egypt's rejection of any interventions threatening regional stability and underlined the importance of serious coordination with partners. He called for full implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 2803 regarding Gaza, the operation of the Rafah border crossing in the both direction, and Egypt's ongoing efforts to sustain the ceasefire in Gaza and facilitate humanitarian aid. Sudanese developments were also discussed. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has praised Egypt's hosting of the Russian-African Partnership Conference and highlighted growing alignment with Cairo on numerous international issues. Speaking in Cairo, Lavrov noted a recent 12% increase in Egypt-Russia trade, significant cooperation on infrastructure projects, energy facilities, and the industrial zone in the Suez Canal economic zone. The Russian foreign minister emphasized enhanced political coordination between the two countries at regional forums and underscored the importance of sustaining the Gaza ceasefire, pursuing a two-state solution, and stabilizing the West Bank. He also acknowledged Egypt's diplomatic mediation with Iran, its balanced stance on Ukraine, and warned the Western security demands could militarize Ukraine against Russia. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Ablati and his French counterpart Jean-Noël Barrot have exchanged views on regional developments. During a phone call, they discussed Gaza, praising France's historic recognition of Palestine and stressing full implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 2803, humanitarian access and early reconstruction. On Sudan, they reviewed Egypt's efforts for a ceasefire, political dialogue, and safeguarding sovereignty. Abdulati highlighted Egypt's support for Lebanon's territorial integrity and institutional stability. They also discussed Libya, emphasizing on Libyan-owned political solution, synchronized elections, and the withdrawal of all foreign forces to ensure national security and regional stability. Egypt has welcomed the UN General Assembly appointment of Barham Ahmed Salah as the new UN High Commissioner for Refugees for a 5-year term starting January 2026. In a statement by the Foreign Ministry, Egypt expressed confidence that Salah's extensive political experience will strengthen the UNHCR's role in protecting refugees and displaced persons amidst growing global humanitarian challenges. Egypt affirmed its full support for the UNHCR and its readiness to cooperate with the new leadership, reflecting its commitment as host to over 10 million migrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. Egypt also praised outgoing High Commissioner Filippo Grandi for his dedicated humanitarian contributions. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin from Egypt. But before we wrap up, here's a recap of the headlines this hour. Lebanon's Prime Minister meets Egypt's Prime Minister in Beirut to deepen strategic ties and coordinate on regional issues. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun praises Egypt's pivotal regional role and support for Lebanon. Foreign Minister Badr Abdati highlights strong growth in Egypt-Russia relations. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at QNewsEG. From all the team here, thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more news and analysis on Qnews. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.